you guys. Welcome. I am so excited to be here today. This is one of my favorite weeks. I love when I get to be able to see new people coming into our Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass. And we get to know a whole bunch of new people, where they're at with their business, and bring them to where they want to be with their business as well. And it's so much fun to do that. Today, what I've done is I've asked some of the coaches to come join us live to be able to share what their experience has been as a coach, and to, share some of their favorite stories that they have personally had regarding their tutoring business, and amazing stories that they've seen other tutors go through. So you guys, I'm so glad that you are here and joining us. And we are going to start with our Miss Cathys Story. Woo woo! Hello, Cathys. How are you today?
I'm wonderful.
Awesome. You guys, it has been about a year and a half now. And this amazing woman, I will never forget, I was on my boat and we were just texting back and forth because she wanted to join the group that I had at that point in time. I didn't have the Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass. So this is all like prior to me developing this course. And she was like, I see that I can pay this to be able to come into the Insider Secrets Club. Can I do that? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And at that point, I had kind of closed the doors, and I'm like, if you found the button, you could sneak on in. You can absolutely use it and come on in. And she did. And she did, which was awesome. And she had lots of questions, which was fantastic. We always love it when people have lots of questions to be able to guide them, because some people are scared to ask questions. And I remember you just like never being scared to like ask that question that you needed to ask, coming on in, doing everything that you needed to do, and then getting that business up and running as fast as you possibly could, because you were leaving the school system. So you kind of had like this, I need to do this like now, like there's, as soon as I get the go that I can do this, like I need to launch and I need to be making money as of like yesterday. So tell us a little bit about your story. So I know that you were in the school system. You ended up getting injured during recess duty, and then you were on disability for like 2 years, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was on workman's comp for 2 years, and just the thought of going back into the classroom, I couldn't do it. Just the negativity, and it was just, the kids were disrespectful, and I wasn't teaching. I was doing more meetings than teaching, or teaching to the test. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So then I figured, I'm like, okay, I know how to teach, but I don't know how to do it online.
Yeah.
And that's when I searched YouTube, online tutoring, and Joanne came up.
Oh, I love it. And now a year later, you've got so many clients, it's almost hard to be able to take new students.
Oh, it's really difficult. So because I'm so booked that, I'm going from like 8 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And I tend to do back to back to back.
Yeah.
And just after, I'm like,
and it's awesome if you've done all of this without having to work with companies like Wyzant or Sylvan or any of those places. Like, you are complete legit on your own. You take 100% of the profit that you make. You don't share it with anybody, and you're pretty much completely booked solid. That is really incredible, you guys. Like, I would have to say, more and more tutors, because they are deciding to follow this path that we've created, this journey, they're able to get booked solid way quicker than if they try to do this on their own. Why do you think that is, Cathys? Because you followed this path. Why do you think that is?
Because we have the camaraderie of other people. It's huge, because otherwise you're on your own. You're trying to learn everything, and you don't have all the answers. So being on the insiders, well, to start with, well, that's how I started. You got to know other tutors, and because tutoring can be a very lonely business if you are not within a community like this community.
Mm-hmm.
And we do refer to each other. Like, if I can't take somebody, I find somebody else. So that's the huge thing. And I never feel lonely.
No.
Never. Because I'm always in calls like this, or I'm taking a class, or
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like we were just doing this morning. So it's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I love, I mean, I told Joanne that I was going to be her next coach.
She did. Like she knew it. She knew it. She's like, I'm gonna be one of your coaches. It wasn't even like, I'd really like to be, it would be great if it was, I am going to be one of your coaches. And so she was always in my back pocket. I was like, all right, you know that I don't have any spots open right now, but when I do, I'm letting you know. And you guys, look at that. And literally, like when you guys think about what it is that you truly want, anything is possible, guys. So here she is. She's a book salad. She's a coach, and she's helping other tutors, and they're getting some really great experiences. We have Teresa Skidmore, who's in the house today. So hello, Teresa. I just want to say hello. Teresa has joined us for this next round and is here to legitimately meet the new coaches because she's so excited about getting started. So let's give her like a big, huge boom cha for just being in the house and joining us today. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom! Sha! That's for you, Teresa, because you did not wait. You guys, the doors close tomorrow. I'm going to put a link in there. Some of you already know that you want to join us, and you may have seen the emails go through and didn't have time to take action. There's the link. Definitely come join us. We have made this so super simple for you guys to be able to join us, okay? Some people are scared about the money, right? If you're scared about the money, you almost don't have to pay anything for it. So I
couldn't believe when I looked at the price, what it is. I'm like, really? It's only that much? Like when I was talking to people, I was like, really? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Because it really gets you going for your whole business. You have everything there.
I know. Yeah, Elizabeth.
I just wanted to quickly say Christy Ekstrom is also in the house, and she's also joined us. So.
Yay! Oh, we got a boom chow for you, girl, too. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, boom! Sha! So glad that you are joining us for this next round. I mean, and there's things like PayPal credit. PayPal credit, you don't have to pay back for 6 months. If you don't make money in the first 8 weeks of doing this program with me, I refund your money. So I could you literally could get started with $0 invested of your own money. There's no reason not to, in my mind, like I've tried to make this as easy for possible to get signed up and be able to do this. My goal is not to take your money, you guys. My goal is to help you seriously learn how to make money. And so are these coaches.
She's real. She's real. She's not just pushing it.
Right.
She's real.
And I know people's situations. Sometimes it is a little bit tougher when you're getting started in the beginning. There's less finances that are there. So that's why we've taken every single, we've thought about everything for you guys so that you can make as much money as you possibly can in the fastest amount of time. And I just think, look at these people who have just gotten book salad so quickly. We also have other tutors here as well, like Esme. Esme decided to start doing the online tutoring. Was it during the pandemic that's where things had to start changing for you, Esme?
They did. I was tutoring in person before. Mm-hmm. And was doing it more on a full-time basis. My son was going to college, my middle son, and we were set on having no debt. So I really picked up the pace on my business, but it was in person, and happened to have just one student on Skype that I had convinced because he wanted me to be his tutor so badly. And so I had one person that I kind of practiced with on Skype for a while, not knowing that March would come around and the pandemic. And so, yes, I went from driving 15 hours a week to see my students in person. I can't believe I did that. To now working 20 hours a week, making 3 times what I was making then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so now I can invest those 15 hours that I drove to marketing my business, promoting myself, professional development. So I'm able to do those things without leaving my home. I can slip in and out of my family's life. Like the kitchen's like behind this wall where I'm sitting. So I just slip in and eat and, slip out. And I do mostly back-to-back sessions. Like Kathy says, I prefer those. But when there is that one that's on its own, then I'm able to slip in and out. So yeah, my life changed. I was searching for online tutoring to get some kind of guidance, like how do you do this? And I also stumbled upon Joanne's YouTube channel. So that's how I met Joanne and started to binge watch everything, and everything she was offering was great. And I thought I almost can pull this off without like doing anything more. And I was seeing results just with the things that I was already like applying. But then I saw the opportunity for Jumpstart, saw the price. And I, now as I look back, I realized like, if I can't invest in myself, how do I expect parents to want to pay for my tutoring? Like, how do I feel that I can convince them that I'm worth, investing in? And so I decided to invest in myself. It happened at the beginning of the pandemic. It just so happened. And I remember I was mostly in my bedroom, and my husband was doing all the cooking and shopping. We all didn't really know what was going to happen the next day. We were just prepping. And I decided this is a window of opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see it as, oh no, my business is over. I saw it as opportunity. And especially when I was became part of the Jumpstart program, then I knew like, I can do this. And so that my first task was to move my in-person students to online, did that, started to feel really comfortable with Zoom and doing online. And at the same time, I was going through Jumpstart and learning and adding, and I can say I have changed my logo, my business name, my colors more times than I want to admit, and probably am still changing things because it's just an organic thing. It's always changing. As you learn, then you tweak things, and that's what Jumpstart did for me. It made me step out into areas that I had not stepped out. Because when you're in person, you're getting referrals and you're just walking over and someone from the neighborhood tells someone, and then you're just like driving to the next house or whatever. But when I saw the opportunity of being able to work with any student, now I have a student in Pennsylvania, a student in Florida, a student in North Carolina. The opportunities are endless. I'm able to fill in those times that I couldn't fill in, like that 3 o'clock, because they're leaving school at that time. So I had to like fill in, and now I can fill in that time because I know who I can target, and so the opportunities are endless. Kathy's right. Like I just told my husband, we were having breakfast, I'm like, this is so awesome. Like I get to be with you ladies on a weekly basis, either in training or in other forms of, lives that we do. And then we connect with so many people. Our accountability partners become lifetime friends. I was telling Joanne that, Christina Gerasim, a chemistry tutor from the Netherlands, we are the best of friends and we're across the ocean. I would have never met her. So yes, having a business can be lonely, but not when you're part of Jumpstart, not when you become part of the, Joanne's community. You're going to find one good friend, and that's all you need, really, a good friend and other people who are encouraging you to do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, the Jumpstart program, it, has a competitive edge to it too, which I thought, I'm not competitive. I'm not like that type of person. And I found myself like at midnight trying to turn things in, trying to create freebies just so that we could get the points. And our team ended up winning. That was Terry Grisby. And so it was, I didn't realize how much I needed the motivation from others to step out and try things I wouldn't have tried on my own, or would have taken too long. Mm-hmm. I would have dragged my feet. It would have been a whole year before I set up a website. So all these things, all these people that are part of the program, it's not just your training, Joanne, it's everyone that you attract because I feel like you attract great people. And as you meet people, yes, people don't believe that tutors will pass on students. Yes, we do, because we get booked and we can only work so much. Or you get to the point where I was during the pandemic. I'm like, I'll never be able to shop. I have money, but I can't go shopping. I can't even get on Amazon. So yeah.
Well, and here, and that's so funny. Like, and sometimes we're the first to see like each other's posts and that kind of stuff, right? So we had a tutor inside of our group, and she just put in there like, need help with the FSA. So she lives in Florida. I had just gotten last week a call from somebody I couldn't take. They wanted help with the FSA, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't I think of that? And so like I passed her on like immediately, and they're going to get started next week. And it was just like,
awesome.
It's like the work that you do put on out there, like it reminds people too, like, hey, I'm still here. So we teach you guys how to be seen. We teach you how to be seen so people can hear you. We teach you to connect with other people and network and do all that great stuff. And I think it's so cool too, because you also hired one of the tutors to work with your sons, your accountability partner, didn't you?
I hired two. I hired Christina Garrison, who's a chemistry tutor, and shout out to her. And then Anna Martin, who is a Latin tutor. And they have been with my son, who's homeschooled the whole school year. So yeah, I benefited in more ways than one, because I got to know them up and close. And I think that's part of the community as well, that, sometimes you see people posting like, hire me, and you're like, I don't know you. And through this community, you do get to know people, their work ethic, their dedication to their students and their bedside manners. And so you begin to say, okay, I definitely would recommend her. So when that does happen, I have referred students to many people, just because I feel like, oh, that person would be the right person. But that's after interacting with them and building that trust, that I could refer someone to that person, that they're really in, once you get out of Jumpstart and you move into the Insider Secret Club, which I'm going to put a plug in for, you know who's really in business. Because these are people who are serious about their business and who want to do it full time. So you definitely are going to seek out those people to refer students, and clients to. It's just the way it is. And I did hire two. And actually the funny one was Christina, because we were practicing how to close, how to have a, assessment, and how to, yes. And so we were going through, and I was just watching her. She's doing such a good job. And I thought, if you only knew it's going to happen at the end. I was like, okay, you're hired. She's like, I did that good. I said, yeah, no, I really mean, like, you're hired. I want you to teach my son. And I think she didn't believe me until she got her first payment for the month. And she's like, oh, I'm hired.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, James Anderson is in the house, and he's got some fantastic questions. And he's wondering, how many students can you work with before you feel like I can't take on anymore? Anybody have like a number for themselves that kind of...
20 is my number.
20 is your number. Okay.
Kathy?
It depends, because like most of my kids, I see either 2 to 3 times a week. So even though I'm at like 22 hours, it depends on if they're 2 times a week or 3 times a week, or I even have a 4-year-old, which I didn't know what to do with the little ones before. But I have figured it out. So it depends if I do 45 minutes or an hour. So I work average between 22 and 25 hours a week. So if you think about it that way, instead of how many kids or how many students that you would have, I figure it by hours. And
for me is that like 20 students, and it'll, be like 22 hours at the most, 25 hours. So that's kind of where I feel like, okay, I'm okay. Like, yes. It's like, I think my dog is reading now. Like, he's been at my side.
And were you guys able to replace your income that you were making previously?
No, I increased it by 3.
You increased your income by 3 times. And Kathy, were you able to replace your teaching income?
Yeah, I mean, I worked in the school system for over 20 years, so I was at the top level and I've at least doubled it.
Oh my God. Wow. So she's doubled how much she was making working less hours.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, and I only work Monday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Nice.
It's crazy. It's funny how much your husband will love you.
It's all
And
me.
your children will be like, oh, she's working, because they know it's for real. They know it's a business.
Yeah.
And they know, and it yields income and it yields extra bonuses for the family. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then he also had asked, like, well, if you have so many students that you're passing on students to other people, have you considered hiring other tutors? And I think this is you guys, this is like a really, I'm just going to approach it from my point of view. I decided to become an online tutor and be my solo person because the other companies were paying the tutors $10 and they were getting paid $50. And I was like, okay, that's like slavery. Like, that's not right. And so I decided that's not the kind of business model I want to have. I love tutoring. I don't want to sit there and have to be managing other people to bring in some money, because I even like try to do the math. I'm like, okay, well, what if I started, having people come on in underneath me? And then I had a tutor say, well, can't they just take like a percentage for like 10 weeks and not like the entire time, like 3 years that you work with a person or whatever? And I thought, yeah, see, these are the kinds of things I don't want to deal with. Those are the things I don't want. So the tutor feels like because they're actually working with the student, they should get 100%. But if you're working for a company, it obviously can't work that way because they can't continue to get you students because they can't market it. They can't do all that stuff. So even a 20% cut or a 30% cut, you're going to find a lot of tutors have issues with that, even though that's what's needed in order to run the business. So then there really isn't that much profit then that is actually there for the person who's getting you those students. For me, that's not lucrative. I don't want to play low ball game kind of. I'd rather create courses where I can make way more money, honestly. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so if I had tutors working for me for 30 hours, let's say, underneath me, that could bring in about $1,200 extra dollars. Okay. And then how much work is involved with that $1,200 each month? Well, I have to make sure that the parents are taken care of. The payments are going where they need to go. I have to make sure that the tutors are showing up for their sessions. I have to answer. There's always going to be that tutor in the group who's going to have a ton of questions of me and take up more of my time. And I do have employees that I have. I have people that are on my team, so I know what's involved with that piece of it. And I thought, for $10,000 a year? Oh, heck no. Oh, heck no. And that's like me having to make sure that they're always book solid with those 30 hours. So then I started thinking, oh my gosh, honestly, I could sell more of my program than do that and have less hassle and have more fun in the entire process. And I started this, you guys, because I wanted to love what I do. Now, there are some people who are like, they're just born leaders that want to micromanage and they want to make sure all those pieces are in place. Like, that's like their forte, like they shine. And those types of tutoring business exist, and people can certainly decide to have that type of tutoring business. Just for me, for those reasons that I've mentioned are some of the reasons why I haven't chosen that model. I've chosen instead to, for me, be able to create the courses and be able to generate some additional income that way. Books, YouTube. I'm playing with some other additional revenues that can come on in memberships versus pediddling with some little bit of money that I could make here or there from having a tutor just work underneath me.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us come on to online tutoring for different reasons, and we are in different seasons of our lives. Like Kathy and I were saying, 20 is great for us. And, maybe we have a husband and there's another income in the home, but maybe there's someone who is single and feels like 20 would not work, right? And so then you're going to increase. So really it's about the season in your life, the income goals that you have. If you have young children or teens, where you're at, so really all of us have that flexibility to create that life that we want. And so there isn't one way to do it. And at the end, you end up, all of us, I think, end up being experts on how to gain students and clients. And so there's so many avenues in which you can help others to do the same and support them. And so there will be many avenues. I'm not thinking about that yet because I'm just enjoying the tutoring so much. It's such a joy. And also just learning as a business person, the flexibility. Before the pandemic, I was doing reading intervention. I was helping upper elementary students who were struggling. And now I'm actually teaching children how to read. So I've had to completely make a U-turn in what I was doing. Did I create that? No, the market did. And I was ready to flex with the market from in-person to online, from reading intervention to teaching them to read. And like Kathy, I also have a 4-year-old in Washington, D.C. too. And even people that I knew from high school have found me just because I have shown up on social media in a big way. And so I think Jumpstart does that for us. It helps us get found. And you think you can just set up a website and it's going to work, and it's not like that. So don't think that just going and opening a website. It doesn't matter how professional it looks. It does,
if you don't know how to use SEO, search engine optimization, you don't know what pieces to include. Everybody creates, and I find everybody creates a website that looks exactly the same. It looks like a resume.
Yes.
Every single one. This is how many years I have experience. This is what college I went to. This is why I love teaching. The aha moment from my students. Every tutor, every teacher writes that on there. Well, yes, but marketing and a resume, there's a total big difference between getting a job where you have to write a resume and then having your own business where you need to be able to speak in the language of your ideal client. Your website's not about you. Your website's about them. When they find you, they need to see their situation on your website, not what your services are, not just a list of your services, right? I can teach algebra 1, 2, calculus, geometry, AP, chemistry.
Oh, that's the biggest switch too. That's a big paradigm shift when you go through Jumpstart program is I'm an elementary teacher. I can teach all things. And I did. And I didn't want to switch to marketing only to one niche. I just didn't want to let go of it. I thought somehow it was going to exclude students and I was going to lose income. And it was the total opposite. So I learned that through Jumpstart. And if you're going through the Jumpstart or thinking about going through the Jumpstart, you're really going to understand why you have to niche down to one. And that, yes, people still know I'm an elementary teacher. Yes, people still ask me to do math. And yes, sometimes I have high school students. That doesn't change, but I market. I was thinking about this because I have a Saturday student that comes in person and I was sending her an invoice and I realized it said best online reading tutor. And I'm tutoring her in math. And, it reminded me, the reason that I did niche down was to try to market myself. You can't create content for every subject. It's impossible. Now I realize it. I didn't before. So those are mindsets that have to be changed, and they're changed through this program. And that was a big one for me, understanding that and finally coming to that place okay, you're a reading tutor. That's what you're going to do. That's obviously what I had been doing mostly, but I just want to just do everything. And I'm at the point where once in a while I'll take a math student because it breaks the monotony of, the same type of student. But it has made it simpler because I have systems in place how I teach reading, and I can pull and fill, and I already know my stuff so well and my resources that it's saving me time, that there's not so much preparation for a session. It's
Right.
15 minutes. 15 minutes till I'll look through everything's set up. Okay, I'm ready to go. And then even on the spot, we'll say like, ditch this. We're doing something different because you're past that. And so, yeah, I love it. I can only say that my students improved, the ones that I can compare my in-person to online. They improved when they moved to online.
Yeah.
We get a lot done. It's, it's a lot of work.
It's crazy awesome. I totally love that. And I'm going to let you guys know if anybody joins in the next 30 minutes, okay, from now until the very end of this call, 12:30, I'm going to send you a special gift. I'm not telling you what it is, but it will be special. Okay. So if you get signed up in the next 30 minutes, and don't worry, we have lots of prizes for those of you guys that are joining the Jumpstart group that we're going to be giving away. So don't feel like you're being left out. I promise you, like as you go through this, you'll probably get something from me. So don't feel like, oh, darn, I already signed up. And that means that I can't get the special gift. Don't worry. We've got lots of things up our sleeves for you guys. So exciting stuff. And if you didn't have the opportunity yet to sign on up, there's that link. I'm putting it inside for YouTube, and Beth put it inside of there for the Facebook group. But I want to introduce you to another coach that we have. We have Suzanne Davis. Suzanne Davis is a online academic writing tutor, and she even helps kids with writing those fun essays to get scholarships so that they can afford to go to college, which was like a brilliant move to add into her business, because those are the exact people that may need help as well as they're going through writing courses in college. So it was just a brilliant marketing on Suzanne Davis's part. And Suzanne's been with us for, oh my gosh, since I feel like the beginning of time, very close to the beginning. Yes, she's ancient. She is a dinosaur. No, I'm just kidding. No, Suzanne was actually with us for the very first Jumpstart course, and she is still here, kicking it, loving it, and being able to help tutors with their business. So thank you, Suzanne, for being here with us today.
Oh, I'm so happy. I really am, because, being a part of Jumpstart, it's changed so many lives. It's great to see. But yes, I actually started in the Insider's Secrets group before you had Jumpstart.
Yep.
And that's where I think you taught a lot of what was the beginning pieces of the Insider Secrets group. I can see as like the seeds of what became Jumpstart.
Yeah.
So I have that experience of what the people in Jumpstart learn.
Yeah.
But I've gone beyond and beyond.
Yes, you have. And you know what's so cool, you guys, is that like you actually got to see how my coaching has changed over the years because of that, and knowing like what I can teach, when I can teach, what we need to focus on here, and see like how I started putting all of those pieces together so that tutors could get quicker results than they were ever able to get. Because there was so much mindset stuff that people really struggled with. There was so many, online technical things that people struggled with. And so everything that we've put into the program was put exactly where it's at, because as soon as you get to that part of the program, a tutor has struggled with it at some point in some way, and we know exactly how to address that. So it's pretty strategic, and you've gotten to see that whole entire process from since Insiders to now, which is pretty cool.
So it's really cool, because I can tell what you're doing, why you're doing it. One of the aspects that I love about the Jumpstart program is that you really build things up and get that momentum going from one step to the next step. And just as tutors are going along that path, it's a great path. Like, I don't know how you pick this week to this week to this week yet, but it really is great. And people build up to the website. It's not the first thing they do. They're already getting students before the website.
Because you don't necessarily need a website, but over time, when you're doing marketing, it makes it a lot easier to have a website. But it also scares a lot of people, which is why we kind of pushed it off to let's work on it at this point in time versus working on it as our very first thing out of the gate, which is kind of what I used to do. Be like, you need a website. Let's start on that right away. And then it was like, you know what? You don't need a website to get started right out of the gate. So let's start with just getting a client first, because the rest of the pieces will fall into place. And then you're going to start seeing what's working, what's not working, and then we can make those tweaks and changes and go. But it is so exciting. And you've been able to see so many students walk through this course. What has been your favorite story of people who've gone through the course for you that you've gotten the opportunity to coach?
Oh, there's so many students who kind of just took off right from the beginning. I think in my first group, I was shocked. For a long time, Terry Grigsby, who was a coach, was like the forerunner in being able to get students the quickest. And she's still very good. Like, I think she even broke her record. But I was surprised.
She got 11 students in 1 week, you guys.
Yes. But I was surprised with Jumpstart. I'd have students in the second week talking about, oh, I just got 3 students here. I got 3 more here, and by the end, it's not that they've gotten 1 student. Some of them were actually booked solid.
Yeah. We had one that was that ended up like, she would have had more students if she could have taken more, but she only had 10 more spots left.
Yeah. So
she was completely booked by the end. That was Rachel Bernstein. Yeah.
Yes, I remember Rachel going through that. There have been so many stories like that. I do love it's just with the last group that I had. There was a tutor who was working full time. Like, she got a full time teaching job, I would say the second week of Jumpstart. So she had to take care of that. She was working like 40 hours a week. And instead of making that an excuse for why she couldn't do things, it slowed her down a little bit. But then she was, she had that mindset. And all of a sudden it was like this lightning bolt happened. And she's like, I've got to do everything now with every spare hour so that I am set up for May. And by the end, I was like, she's gone further with her website and done more than, the other people who were making steady progress all throughout. And I thought, you never can know when that determination hits or like when that clicking into high gear hits, but it does with Jumpstart. It builds and builds and builds. And for some people, it builds like super quick, but for others, when it does, you get to celebrate those moments.
Yeah.
And by the end, that they're all in a good place.
Yeah.
And that's great to feel a part of that.
Yep. And what's so, it's so cool just to watch people to go through this process. And a lot of people will ask the question, well, how is Jumpstart different from like a social media class or something like that, where I could just learn how to market my business? And my response to that was, this isn't just like a video course that you just take and then, hopefully you get to the end. Like, we actually are here supporting you through every video. Like, every single week there are live calls. So I've got a Motivational Monday call. Then you're set up with a coach. You're set up with a team. You're set up with success. You're set up with those building blocks, that courses that you just like get online. Like, you could spend like $2,000, sure, on an Instagram course. You could spend that kind of money on one of those kinds of courses, but that is not going to help you with running your tutoring business. Whereas we guide you step by step on, here are the pieces you need to put into place. Here's a better payment system that you can use. Here's a platform that you can use to take care of all your back office stuff. Here's how you use that. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. Like, we show you all of those different pieces that come together. And then we show you all the different ways that you can be able to get students. And then we even have tech support. So when you get stuck with the tech, you can come, you can ask questions, and you can get that support that you need with that tech. So there's a piece of it. It's kind of like a hybrid model between live coaching and being able to just get like a course. And I've done courses where I've paid $1,000, $2,000 for just the videos online to peruse on my own. And I got to tell you, sometimes I haven't finished them.
I know. I've made that mistake. And then I have gone through courses. I went through one before I found you in the Insiders group about getting started tutoring English as a second language online. And it was videos. No feedback. No, like I couldn't try something and then get somebody to say, hey, here's what's going on with, your flyer here, or here's what's going on with this, what you're writing here, to draw your ideal client. And there were so many things that maybe I'd absorb it, but I wouldn't know how to implement it exactly without the coaching. And everybody has access to you. In addition to one of us. And so many times people enter a course and they don't get to interact with like the person there. And that's super valuable.
Yeah.
You've been through it all. You've been tutoring online, I think, since 2010.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you've seen everything.
Yeah.
That's the key for me with the Jumpstart program, is that Joanne still tutors. And that, I think, is still what makes you, Joanne, stand out. And I know at some point maybe you will have to do less tutoring, or I don't know, as you have so much success. And I know that you'll continue to have it, but I just feel like that's what makes me comfortable with that's what made me comfortable with the Jumpstart program, that like we're rushing off, like I'll have to leave right at 12:30 because I have a session, and we all are thinking that way because we do have our sessions. And so we know what that's like. So it's just you knowing what we do on a daily basis, and you're doing it as well, is very different from some guru telling us, oh, I have a lot of people who write me and tell me that they can help me. And I'm like, well, what are you going to help me with? Because I'm booked. So I'm not sure because at the end of all things is to be booked.
Yeah.
Not to have the most beautiful Instagram website or, to win the award. The ultimate goal is to be booked, because we're here to tutor.
Right. Exactly. And some of those other things will come with time. They're not going to be perfect right out of the gate, but trying some of those strategies will definitely help. You guys, James Anderson, I love this, James. He actually happened to be watching another video on YouTube, and this popped on up. He was stolen away from the video, started watching us, and has just loved all of the content you guys have been sharing. So thank you. Hopefully you decide to join us, because we would love to have you on board, James. Yeah, it's not a huge investment when it comes to your business, and you get a ton of support as you go through this process. This is not I buy the course and then I forgot I even had it. I don't even know where my login is for that course. So you know what I mean? Like, we are so on top of helping you with your success, not to the point where we're like breathing down your neck, but we're guiding you through the entire process. This is not a set it, forget it, and done. We've taken your money. Have a good day. In fact, if you do not get a client within 8 weeks and you've taken all the actions that we have suggested, I will refund your money. No questions asked. So I think that is really, the point of it. My goal is to help you guys learn how to make money, not take your money. It is about supporting you guys to be able to get the best results. What are some of the people that you've seen? I know, Esme, you went through the course. Maybe you've heard of some other stories of people who went through Jumpstart. I know, Kathy, you've seen some of your people go through Jumpstart, and I'm sure you have some favorite stories of people to share about. What are some of your favorite stories of people you've gotten to coach?
I have one that in the beginning, she just wanted to hear it all and just absorb it and then get going. Well, she just felt so empowered that she just took everything with the rein and she ran. And I mean, she's got her website done. She was on actually doing a YouTube with you. She has a whole bunch of students. I don't know if she's fully booked, but she's got a lot of students.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it's just, I mean, the whole crew, and we've become really close. And so that's really nice. And we're very approachable. So if you have a question, you message us. And definitely after watching the videos, then we have a meeting on Wednesdays, and you pick the different times, whatever time works for you. And then, like I tell my people, I'm like, message me ahead of time, because I can always I'm really good at finding stuff. So just tell me ahead of time and I can find things to bring to you. It's just awesome. I mean,
and I think what's awesome is you guys are also, I pick you specifically because of where you're at in your business too. So I've not picked people who've just gone through Jumpstart and, got a couple of students. I have seriously handpicked people that have a tutoring business. Like, this is their passion and joy as well. They love it. I've handpicked people that not only do they love it, they want to be able to give back to the community, because they felt like they got so much out of this that they want to be able to give back to other people that are just getting started or have even been tutoring for a while and want to be able to do things better. We've had a lot of people who've gone through this program. They've been tutoring for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and they say that they go through this program and they streamline their business so much better that they end up having the ability to make more money than if they continue to do business the way they were doing before. And I think that's so cool.
Yes, I've tutored for 20 years, 20 plus years, like part-time. And in the last 3 years, I had picked up to full-time basis. And definitely the systems, oh my goodness, the systems that we learn, the frameworks. I think if people watch your YouTube videos, yeah, they're going to get a lot of great content, but it's the why the why that comes with the training and Jumpstart. Why is that necessary? When we get a flyer in the mailbox and it says what it says, someone has thought that through over. I mean, it wasn't just like on the spot written.
Right.
Right.
Copywriting is so huge, yes. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is. So that just thinking, being on purpose, being intentional about what you are creating, what you're putting out there, and knowing that it's okay to practice without being perfect. Like, it's all about practicing and practicing and practicing. And then you get such, once you create a business that's booked for the first time, like it's the first time you get booked, wow, you have superpowers. Like, you now are very confident if you want to raise your rates, because you feel like I was able to, serve these students. So that's where the confidence comes. The confidence comes in adding students to your business.
Yeah.
That's where it grows. The experience comes from interacting with those students and then having the business support through Jumpstart, that, you're not here to teach us how to teach what we teach. You do have the reading interventionist program, which I loved, that was great, a great refresher for me. But at the end of the day, you're here to encourage us to do the things that we need to do. You're not going to tell us we have to do it, because there are a lot of things that I didn't do through the Jumpstart program that I'm still like, I have not done my email list yet. Suzanne, we're working on that. And I'm going through her program through Blogging Mastermind. And, there are things that you're going to be able to do. A lot of times your success is going to come from one platform, and you're just going to have like an endless amount of students through there. And it's going to be hard for you to maybe invest the time in the other things. So there is time for that. Don't think that you come into the Jumpstart program, oh, you have to do everything perfectly. And if you don't, you won't be successful. At the end of the day, success is getting students. Mm-hmm. And then you improve your business, and then you improve your processes, and then you believe Joanne and do what she says was best.
I know, isn't that funny? Because I have a couple of things that I feel very strongly about in the beginning, and I share people like my story of how I developed it, why I did it, and why other people need to do it. And right. There's always people who are like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then that thing that I'd say is going to happens. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I should have done that. And then they put my system into place, and then they're like, oh yeah, this is way better.
Yes. Yes. You said once about not getting paid. And I was like, that
Yes.
has never happened to me. I was like, I'm sure there's a video out there. It happened. It happened. And
Mhm.
it was, a client I didn't know, but she was doing very well. She was paying consistently, and I had made it a little too easy for her. And the day came.
Yep.
And the only thing that was different, though, when it happened was that I had the confidence to say she wanted to continue. She had lost her job. She wanted me to give her a chance. And I was confident that I was not going to give up that slot, that I had to think like a businesswoman,
Mhm.
and that I needed someone to fill that slot that could pay. And I
Right.
couldn't hope that she would pay. That if she couldn't, I remember saying to her, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I don't want to be uncomfortable. So when you are doing better, I will be here, and maybe I can accommodate your child. So though I faced that situation, I faced it with confidence, and I set some boundaries.
Yes.
And I think the program allows us, teaches us, encourages to be upfront with our clients. And now I use everything you've taught just in anything that we do. It's like we have to set our boundaries up and say, like, this is what I know you talk about even knowing what to expect from a
Yes.
student. Like a parent comes and they say, this is what I want you to teach him reading. And then like 2 weeks from now, they're like, no, I want you to teach him writing. And no, and then, oh, he's not having a lot of success. Well, our original objective was this, but you keep changing it. So maybe it's not the right time, or I'm not the right person. So I know it's hard to think that way, because right now you just want a client, but you will get picky, and you will be intentional about who you take, and that you're clear on the goals on both sides.
Yes. And we just had Dory Osmond join us. So we just want to give you a big, huge boom shot, Dory, for taking that leap, jump, and doing it. Even if you're scared, just doing it with us. That's going to be awesome. So on the count of three, as coaches, we are all going to give you a huge boom cha. 1, 2, 3. Boom! Sha! So excited that you're going to be able to join us with the program, because we really are here to be able to support you. You're able to learn from, the things that did not go well for us and the things that have gone well for us. And, we just love being able to support you guys. And if you have a question at all for our coaches, we still have about 6 more minutes. Feel free to throw that question on in there, and we will make sure to answer that question for you. For those of you who didn't have a chance to see the how to create a profitable online tutoring business in 2021, definitely watch that. If you are on my email list, you will see it in your inbox. It will go through, like, step by step, all the things that you need to put into place so that you can be successful. And if you decide that joining us is a great fit, awesome, we'd love to have you. The doors do close at midnight tomorrow night. Why? Because we start together as a group on Monday. Some people ask the question of, well, can all of these videos be released all at once for me to be able to utilize? They cannot. And I'll tell you why. People get overwhelmed. And even the people who say they're not going to get overwhelmed. So you only get one piece at a time each week, and we walk through it together as a group. And there's something amazing that happens, you guys, with group synergy. When you walk through the same program on the same content as a group, some amazing things happen. And you're going to see a friend show up, and his name is Big Mo. For those of you who joined the program, that's a little something inside joke. For those of you guys who don't know, those of you who joined us, you know Big Mo. And when Big Mo pays a visit to you, whoa, some awesome things come. So in the book that we study with Darren Hardy, he talks about momentum. I can't say the word, whatever. And he gives it a name. He gives it a character. His name is Big Mo. And Big Mo comes to be able to join and be able to do some awesome things. And he starts taking over some of the hard stuff for you. That initial push that you have to take. What would you say? Because you've been through it, Esme. You also went through the course, Kathy. What would you say is the overall run time for? There's more than 8 videos, just so you know, that's combined with the course. So it's 8 weeks. but there's way more than 8 videos. I try to keep the videos between 5, 10, 15 minutes long so that you can grab them at short bits of time versus feeling like if you only have like, a short amount of time, you can't fit it in. But how many hours would you say are the videos over the course? I can't even begin to guesstimate.
I don't know, but I'm a fast forward and rewind kind of person. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's because
you're kind of
to do.
You're kind of doing it along at the same time, so it's
Because there's things that you have to do basically for each one. So it's
I don't know.
Yeah.
An hour at the most, but that's what.
Yeah, I would say like there's probably like an hour each week of videos to watch, and then you have the live calls that you can attend. Those are on replay if you can't attend live. It is highly suggested that you choose a time for your coaching time that will work for you so that you can be there in person and not have to watch that on replay, because I feel like it does start to add up. Like you don't make that call, all that kind of stuff, then it just starts to kind of add on up as like, oh, all these things that I have to watch versus you really being a part of.
You don't want to replay the coaching call.
No.
It's not the same.
No, definitely not. So you just want to be there as much in person as you possibly can. So,
but to make sure that you keep doing the activities that are given for each week, because then you need to have them done for Saturdays at noon. So you have to implement things too. It's not just videos. It's not just there's activities you need to do for your business. It's not just for the course.
Yeah, it's not a pretend thing. It's not pretend. That's the big thing. It's for us to use so that we can attract clients.
Right.
Yes.
So this is not one of those passive courses where you watch and you listen. Like a lot of times I listen to audiobooks, right? And I'm just like doing other things as I listen to the audiobook. This isn't that kind of a course, because I've been through that, and having all the knowledge in the world but not taking action will never get you clients.
Right. You're not going to do a pretend website. You're going to do a website for your business. You're going to do a freebie for your business. No one else. It's not like when you're in college and you do this project and you don't use it. No, the project is your business. That's the mindset of the Jumpstart program.
Yeah. Oh, and look at that time. It's already 12:29, you guys. Kathy has to go work with her quadruplets. I got to go work with Yusuf in all the way over in London. And I'm sure Esme probably has a student as well. And Suzanne does as well. So we all have students that we got to leave and boogie to. But if you guys are interested in joining us, just click that link. And I will throw that on in there. Again, we'd love to be able to have you join us in the next Jumpstart. Doors close at midnight tomorrow night. Don't miss out, because it will be another few months before you're able to join us again. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining me today. You coaches are amazing.
Thank you for the invite. Love you too.